what do they call it? The millennial pause, where you're like, "Oh, have we started?" Maybe it's not millennial pause. Maybe it's the Gen Z pause. So welcome to our Aya Live. We got a special one today. We have an exciting announcement, and I have with me Francesca McDonald and Michael McDonald, co-founders of Aya, and I will let them drop the news, and I will drop the link to the news.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Kingsley. Yeah, it's the Healthy for Life Day. The book drops today. It's on Amazon now. And Francesca and I were honored to be a part of this beautiful legacy that's being put out in the world. I mean, 24, you know, professionals, big thinkers, doctors, practitioners of all types. So everything from constipation to, you become what you sing about all day long. And, it's been quite a journey to write a chapter. Both Francesca and I wrote our own chapters. I'm chapter 15. And Francesca, your chapter.
I am chapter 19, and good morning, everyone. Extremely honored to be here. It has been a long awaited day today, February 4th, 2025, many months in the making and lots of heart and soul. This has been maybe one of the most meaningful projects. I want to speak for my husband too. Michael and I have had the honor to participate in. It's been a journey of self-discovery and really understanding our contribution and the legacy message we want to leave. I was particularly thinking of my youth in my life, so our children. This book is covering all of our foundational pillars of health that we can use to stay in a state of well-being. And I see Patrick joined us, another team member of the IFIT team, who had the pleasure and honor in joining us in this amazing project. Patrick, I was talking about Healthy for Life, quite a revolutionary work. I was sharing the amount of meaningful self-work and deep dive into the legacy that we wanted to leave through the message in this book, and how meaningful it's really been for all of us, and the message we want to leave. I was thinking of our children, as this book is a foundational skill for the leaders in children's lives. So I was really thinking of what do I want to leave for them, and what do I use in my family that can be so transformational. So I'm sure we'll get into that, but that is the meaning and the depth of such a beautiful project.
Awesome. Yeah, let me see if I can add Patrick. And Patrick, welcome. Let's see, where are you? I've got.
Yeah, I saw him a second ago.
I am here in the background. My heart and spirit are here for sure.
There he is.
This gets funky with trying to edit the. Oh, okay. This will work out. I'm clicking stuff very feverishly, but I've got Francesca's chapter up, and so Michael, why don't you while I try to find your chapter, why don't you tell us about your chapter?
Yeah, fantastic. Well, just to give kind of like the overarching summary of the book, and I'm reading from Amazon right now. And so it's Dr. Alana Zablosky Admir who brought us into the fold, and I'm so grateful for her, because this is a big part of her legacy, to put something out into the world that, again, as Francesca highlighted, foundational skills for, parents, teachers, mentors, and the kids that they love. And, at the heart of it, it's, Healthy for Life is the roadmap to building a lifetime of health and resilience for you and those you love. This unparalleled collaboration is a guide that breaks down the forgotten foundations of health, nutrition, environment, self-regulation, fitness, and sleep into simple, powerful habits anyone can start today. So I was actually the last one to join the group. And so fortunately I did, because I've just been so, life, right, is so busy and fast moving that sometimes you miss the opportunities that are right in front of you because you're trying to complete, the tasks at hand. So fortunately, I had a moment of pause and I said yes to it. And so grateful I did, because what a transformative ride it was for me. Because first and foremost, I'm no doctor. I'm not an MD, right? I'm Michael McDonald, the School of Life, YouTube University, and, seminars and, masterminds and, just trial and error. Like I'm the trial and error king, right? So to be put, my word and my message into the pages of a book that is, for the most part, doctors, was a little, a little bit of pressure there, right? So I really dug deep and spent my time dissecting, like, what is it that Michael McDonald, has of value that can be a contribution not only to this book and to make Dr. Alana proud and the rest of the collaborators proud, but even more so, what could be a tool for my two boys and beyond to take forth and celebrate and use, and to be able to stand in what's healthy for them, right? So for me, the fundamental and just kind of like, health doesn't, in my mind, like, there's so many things out there, right? There's so many books that are, contrary opinions and contrary scientific evidence and reviews and testimonials. And, one guy says up, another guy says down, and you're thinking to yourself, well, if it's all true, then it must be what is true for you. What is it that you truly believe and resonate with? And so stripping away everything, what is the most fundamental thing that any human being can do in order to align with, one, their superpower, two, their mission, and two, align to health and vitality? And for me, that is, and I keep repeating that, but fundamentally, we are frequency beings in a frequency universe, right? That is science. Everything's vibration, energy, and motion, right? So if that's the truth, and which it is, then that means that we can tune ourselves, right? If we're frequency beings, we can tune. We have ways to tune frequency, right? I'm a musician, lifelong producer. I understand tuning instruments. We are a walking instrument of vibration. So my message to the world is, how do you get in touch with that meaning that gives you a sense of purpose and something that makes you want to get out of bed with a smile on your face, right? Most of us go through life, writing our action list. We write our recipes for dinner. We write our business plans. We write, our plans for school and education and beyond, right? But we very, very rarely write our plan and our statement of who we are and who we want to be in life, right? And until we do that and we really get in touch with that statement that we would be proud to have etched on our gravestone, until we have that, we're like a sailboat without a sail, and we're just being, fluttered throughout the sea, which isn't wrong or right. It's just what it is. But if you want to resonate at your highest potential, then you must understand what it is that you stand for. Like, what is it that you want in life, and move towards that. And so in this chapter, which is titled "You Become What You Sing About All Day Long," right? It's coined off of Dr. Wayne Dyer's "You Become What You Think About All Day Long." I give you the tools to dive deep and understand what it is that drives you, what inspires you, what is your North Star in life, and how to write that down. And then not only write it down, but then to speak it out loud. Because guess what? Manifestation, whether it's a house that you want to build or a business or anything that you want to bring into the manifest world, it always starts with a thought, and then it starts with the word, right? And so you take your words, that statement you'd be happy to be etched on your gravestone, and you speak it. And then I inspire you to sing it, because now you're bringing it into the joyful realm. You're bringing it into authentic expression. I tell you to do it with the drapes drawn and nobody home, if that makes you feel comfortable, because then you can speak it with authenticity. You can speak it loud, crazy, dramatic, low tone, high tones. And now you're playing with the world of authenticity. You're stepping outside of the box, and you're pushing that thought, that language into the manifest world, to where now you're starting to be a conscious creator of your life. So through the chapter, I give you the tools on how to really engage with that small but powerful voice within, bring it forth, and start consciously creating your life in a powerful, meaningful way. And then on top of it, I give you a technology tool, an iAFIT, soon to be launched, to where you'll be able to take that statement of yours, or any statement that you want, but ultimately the statement, and put it into song format. And Aya, who's our heart-centered AI guide, will transform your words into a song in the genre of your choice and the instrumentation of your choice, and turn it into an incredible resonance frequency music track that you can own, share, listen to anywhere, make 100 different versions of it until you're satisfied. But this can be your exclamation for yourself. This is your anthem to harmonize with that who you really are, that infinite, beautiful, expressive potential. So I'm going to lay down the mic and pass it.
Love that. I'm still wrestling with the the controls here, so I'm gonna get Patrick into our layout here. But if you're just joining us, we are announcing the new launch of the Healthy for Life book that has, let's see, I don't know if I can count all the authors from Aya.
24.
So many authors in this book. That's crazy. And let's see, I'm going to just pull up hopefully, wait for it. Patrick, I think I figured it out. Yes. Okay. Hopefully this works. Oh shoot. Where we are? Oh, there we go. Okay. So Patrick, welcome to the live. Let's see. I feel like you've been on a live before, but it wasn't a true live. It was just something I replayed from one of our podcasts, Harmonize Your Life. So Patrick, tell us about your chapter, and maybe start with what inspired you to even write anything for this book.
Well, thanks for having me on board, Kingsley. Wonderful to see Francesca and Michael. So inspirational in everything that you do and to bring to the world, man. So I'm super excited about the journey ahead. That being said, yeah, Kingsley, I had this great opportunity. Invited actually Francesca. You were the first one to tap me for this and saying, Patrick, you need to be part of this project. Your voice and your heart need to be heard. And as Michael had said, that's a challenge, right? Get into a place of uncomfortableness to say, man, am I really willing to stand in my own, be grounded truly in my truth, my authenticity, and to be able to share that with the world. And so I've been given that opportunity again. I believe there's no accidents in the world, and he's working through us. We all have an assignment in the world. And so, Francesca, thank you for inviting me into that, to open that up and start talking to Dr. Ilana, who it just unfolded into a beautiful journey over the last year, really, to put something like this together. So, Kingsley, to tap into my my chapter. My chapter is Chaos to Calm, and the heart is the way. And so that comes from a personal story of emotional dysregulation that I've observed and experienced. And I think all of us, and I think that's the takeaway here, is to appreciate that at any given time, and it's all relative to us, is that there's some level of chaos going on within our nervous system. And that is a section of the book that I had the opportunity to contribute to, is that when we can take some level of control of that with a little bit of psychoeducation and a little connection between the mind and the body, that we can start to re-regulate that, right? How can we bring empowerment to the individual from the child to the adult so we can model this for the next generation? And so with this incredible pursuit of holistic well-being, it really is the pathway through the heart. And what we get into in the chapter is simple stuff of getting to the foundations of what does it look like to tap into the heart rhythms that are communicating to our brain. And a lot of folks don't know this, but there's a lot more information and communication going on from the heart to the brain than there is the brain to the heart. And so often we get stuck in our head where there's judgment, there's ego, all the things that take away that prefrontal cortex where we have executive functioning, where we can actually have a place of emotional regulation, discernment, to foresee what problems may be coming ahead, and then be able to have that situational awareness, also to make those decisions that are going to be best, not only for ourselves, but for those that we matter, that matter most in our lives. So simply within the chapter, and this is the power of this, is with the amazing different authors that we have coming in here, I know it's going to be far reaching. And so often we say, and Michael said it, right at the heart of everything is knowledge. And without the action, though, that knowledge remains on the shelf. And so what I love about this book is it tells the stories that connect the knowledge with those step-to-step processes that are simple steps and that are tactical, that we can use in everyday life, that I know that anybody picks up the book, right? This is like the Titan of education when it comes down to just holistic well-being. And more importantly, how do we transform that from one place of stress and emotional dysregulation to one of regulation and optimal performance in our life?
Wonderful. And if you're just joining us, we are talking about the launch of Healthy for Life. And it's a new book that has many authors, and I've been told 24. And we've got 3 of them on the show today on the live. And we're all from Aya today. And some of the folks that, like Dr. Ilana, she is on our medical board. I'm curious, Michael, what, and unfortunately, Dr. Ilana couldn't join us today, but if you were to like step into her shoes, what would you say was her kind of like impetus for writing this book?
Wow, well, that's a tough one, right? To speak for her, but I won't speak for her, but I'll speak of her. She is such a beautiful human being. I mean, just to, want to put this out in the world, right? This is very meaningful for her. And to gather, the best of the best from her community in, thought leaders, and to put them together. And this was no small feat, right? When you have 24 thought leaders, right, and professionals, there's a lot going on there, right? Everybody's busy. Everybody's juggling their professional life. There's a lot going on. So to be able to, it's like herding cats, right? So her job of putting this together was a monumental feat, right? And she did it with such vigor and gusto and grace. It was just remarkable. And I couldn't have done it. Like I would have failed miserably or given up, or both, right? But her tenacity to do this is just a testament, and I'm so grateful for her and for her to bring both myself and Francesca in and give this opportunity to be a part of her legacy, right? She's such a high value individual that's putting out such good things in the world. To be called in to add to that is such a high honor. I know you, Francesca, have a very close connection with Alana, so I'm going to let you kind of fill in the gaps where I may have missed. But there's so much to say about her and what she did here, and I really feel that this is a starting point for her. Like this is. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Yes, I thank you, Amore, for allowing me to step in right when we're talking about Dr. Ilana, because my heart smiles so big when I think of Dr. Ilana, and I hope she gets to see this and really hear my deepest appreciation for her work and her leadership. I want to say not only was that a big feat to manage, but also to communicate to each individual author her vision and how to bring our vision to make sense within her vision and our message to make sense within her message. It's quite a masterful task that, again, like Michael said, not everyone can pull off. And the level of one-on-one coaching and intimate work that she has put in, I want to say, with each and every one of us, is really remarkable, to where I'm just one of 24, but I feel like I developed a deep friendship with her. And in fact, and this is a public wish that I know Dr. Ilana know, I'm probing her to do a collaborative book with her in the future, just because I'm already missing working with her almost on a daily basis during our writing process. It was wonderful. We would get to interact a lot. We had a question, we get to discuss, and what do you think of that? And I just dearly miss those interactions. Furthermore, and this is to finish, your feedback on your work or your thinking process is so valuable, but also novel. Like, she makes you think in ways you haven't thought of before, which is what made her a phenomenal leader. So this is for you, Dr. Ilana. We love you, and we're so, so grateful. And then I want to also extend the gratitude to our publisher, Laura DiFranco. She is a master of bringing out your emotion. She has coached us through the writing process. I even talk about that in my chapter. I was thinking I was going in one direction, and then we had a meeting with our publisher, and she literally went inside of me and took my heart and put it on a nice silver platter for me. And she says, "Go write, honey." And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have memories of having to be off of camera. I'm usually one that likes to be engaged and actively participate in meetings. After Laura talked, I had to be off of camera because my heart was on a silver platter and I was bawling. I was like, okay, I think I know what I'm going to be talking about in my chapter. I'm like, wow, what a master is she, and how much do I need my message delivered to the world? So as much as a work of yes, leaving a legacy for me, it's been a very healing activity that I cannot put a price tag on. It's been a priceless dive into myself. I share my chapter is called The Sensory Symphony, and it's in the same pillar as Patrick's. We are both in the emotional regulation section of the book. It's a topic that's near and dear to me as I researched this topic for many years. Michael and I and our family, I'll share just enough for you to understand where I went with this, but we went through a journey of adoption in the past where we witnessed and experienced firsthand what it means to not have our senses, our six senses, and way more than just the six senses. There's many senses, and just we witnessed how when our senses do not work in harmony, the product is pretty challenging. So emotional dysregulation does not allow us to live life to the fullest, not to us and not to the people that surround us. So what I explore in my chapter is the journey to understanding that, how important it is that we are in harmony with our senses, but also what tools did I develop and learn through the years, through my research and studying, but also firsthand, and through countless hours of therapy with our adoptive daughter back then, that I gathered that can be used very simply. They're accessible. We have them within us, tools that we can use when our thinking brain, I call it, is out of control. When our thinking brain is out of control, then we're offline. So our system, when it's offline, guess what? It's not working. And it can function optimally. When we cannot be in that place, we are definitely in a rescue situation. So the tools that I offered, that I discovered and learned and through the years and put together, hopefully offer a toolkit to even prevent going to a place where our thinking brain is off of line. And initially, I was inspired to create this tool for my family, for our boys. And thanks to Dr. Ilana, when I had the opportunity to be in this section of the book, I felt like, wow, what a great opportunity to share what I've learned in my own personal experience that I preach on a daily basis to my boys. Use this tool. And then I coined something else called the 6 L's for learning, which are just 6 different things that I think if we learn, we may not ever even need to use a rescue technique to get out of a heightened situation. So I hope you'll find value in this little tool as well, as much as I hope nobody ever needs to use it. However, wow, what a monumental opportunity to share it with the world.
Wow, wonderful. That is very touching. I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, what are the reasons why I need to read this book? Other than knowing you three here on the podcast, there's 24 other chapters. There's so many people connected to AyaFit who are a part of this book. But if you were to say one reason why people who don't know us at Aya should read this book, and Patrick, I'm going to go to you next, what would that reason be? What do you think? What you got for me?
All right. And so that's targeted at me, Kingsley?
Yeah, go for it. No pressure.
No, not at all. because it's so easy to drop into your heart when you're working with this collective group, and the passion and compassion for the world comes from Aya. And so if I was going to leave one thing, it really is the connection that when we're looking, again, this pursuit of holistic well-being, that it's so critically important that we tap into this beautiful system that we have. The brain is beautiful, but when we can realize that there's so much more going on below the neckline. And as Michael so eloquently laid out, we have all these different frequencies that drive our nervous system and can shift us into a place of renewal and vitality. And specifically for me, when I come to you, and we come from heart, and I think that's the epicenter of Aya, is that we're driven by our heart. And so when we can do that, and realizing that the heart is much more than a pump and a regulator, but it is a connector, it is a communicator. And that if we can drop into our heart more often, and we can tap into the resources that Aya provides to shift our state into a place of coherence and connection between our heart, our mind, and our emotions, that we can show up more authentic in the world and really grounded in who we are and who we were made to be.
Love it. You delivered as usual, Patrick, and yes, I appreciate you. So Michael, what you got for us? What is the number one reason why people should go out and read this? And I'm also going to ask, since we're all about sound, is there going to be an audiobook?
Ooh.
Boy, good question. I'd have to ask Dr. Alana. There's got to be an audiobook, right?
Read by the authors, ideally.
Oh, yeah. Number one reason to read this book, the number one reason is that there's something in it for you, for sure. There's 24 brilliant professionals speaking their number one hack and teaching to the world, right? There is, within those 24 chapters, there's something that is necessary for you, and I'm speaking to the world. There's something necessary for you to move to the next level of participation in life, right? Whatever that means to you, there's something in this for you. Number two reason, because Francesca's chapter's in there, and she's the most amazing, magical human being that I know, and everything she touches turns to gold. Look at me. Oh, kidding. But yeah, I mean, she's just my guiding star, and her chapter is just incredible. I mean, the whole book is, but I'm a little biased because she's my wife, and just an amazing force in my life and my boy's life. So yeah, so number one, there's something in it for you. Number two, Francesca.
All right. Well, I know we're all kind of battling different colds, at least three of us. I don't know about you, Patrick, but my voice is lower because I have a cold, which is good for voiceover. So, Francesca, do you have any like reasons why, if you had to narrow them down to one or two, besides Michael having written a chapter, what would you say?
Touche, Kinsey. Thank you, Amore. That was so sweet. Well, I would be drawn to reading it, and that's why I feel so confident in suggesting people to read it, is because each author really had to dig so deep to create their chapter and their message, that I feel like it's probably one of the most authentic, real, raw books that are out there. It's like, for me, when I read a book or select a book, I want to know, how does this apply in my life? And I feel like everyone went really deep into their life and found the most meaningful thing that they want to share that it's quite rare. In 24 of us, so the combined energy and wisdom in those pages, and authentic desire to share something meaningful and important is going to be the guiding force of this book. So I think that's what makes it super unique. And that's why I think everyone should read it. I don't think there's many things that can compare out there right now.
Wonderfully said. And speaking of writing, didn't you just drop a blog post on Aya?
Yes, we did. I just wrote, and Michael kindly published for me a Healthy for Life blog on our IFIT website. Please go check it out. It kind of goes over what we've been discussing and how does Healthy for Life really shares the common essence and goal of this book. They have a lot in common. So I hope you're interested in going to check it out and make yourself a sonic supplement. Who doesn't need one?
Yes. Wonderful. Well, with that, we're going to wrap this up. I appreciate all of you joining me today. Go out and get the book. It's if you're on Facebook, I put the link below. Go to Amazon, check it out. It's live today. So leave a review once you finish it.
Sorry, a review would be so helpful for us this first couple of days. If you feel inclined to leave one, we would really appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah. So with that, unless Michael, you have any closing thoughts, we can sign off.
No, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Dr. Alana, for including us in this magnificent piece of work. Tune in, tune up, and transform. IFIT, baby.
Thank you.